Hey guys, welcome back. So now, it's been a while since we've talked Joker, and we've got to jump back in because this story is just continuing to go crazy. But make sure if you're just hopping in now that you check out the playlist in the description, or that you've read through issue 13, because there was a huge reveal in the last issue, and you are going to be completely lost if you start from here. So with that said, let's jump into it. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to catch the spills every week, and don't forget to hit that bell up top so we can squat up in the comments for the first hour. Alright, so for this one, we're jumping back in, of course, after the huge reveal where we finally found out who orchestrated this whole fiasco, as far as framing the Joker for A-Day, luring vengeance out in the public eye, while also setting up the Samson family in the process. But on top of us getting this reveal and finding out that this was a Bane plan the whole time, I also noticed that a ton of you guys had questions as far as how could Bane be here and also be within the issues of Task Force Z at the same time. So I want to take a minute and talk about that real quick, and not even a minute, because initially when you guys asked, I kind of played with the idea that, oh, this was just one of the bodies that Bane had left behind in order to sell the idea that he was actually dead, like we'd seen during A-Day with the body that was left at Arkham, deceased after what appeared to be a Joker attack. But in Task Force Z issue 10, you'll find that they've made a clear distinction that the Bane that's been running around with Jason Todd and the others on this new team, it is not the actual Bane. And also within issue 10, they go on further to express that he was created because someone wanted the world to believe that Bane was dead, which for the most part has been explained throughout the Joker series, but I can understand the frustration of a lot of people waiting for this answer. But at the same time, I also understand that they were waiting to give this reveal until after the real Bane showed up in the Joker series, and they waited a good while after that. But nonetheless, we got our answer, and that's why there's more than one Bane running around. But with getting into this one, we head back down to Hooper County, Texas, with the Samson family preparing this huge dinner. And it's not just the Samson family here, but it's also others who are filthy rich who just happen to share the same appetite in people. But the main course here isn't just anybody, but like we'd seen, it's the Joker, who hopefully they don't plan to spit roast because that would just be inappropriate. And I mean, they crossed that line years ago, but you know what I'm saying. But we're shown here rather quickly that this is set up to be a big deal, because when Sawyer Sampson shares a few words with everyone here, he reminds them how Billy's sacrifice afforded them this lifestyle, but also how years ago Sawyer had made a deal with the network, who he just refers to as making a deal with the devil. But because Sawyer had made the plans with Billy having to go away, like they really didn't have a choice, that it was done in a way to where Billy would be beyond comfortable for the rest of his days. But because Billy's life was taken by who Sawyer believes to be the Joker, tonight is the night that the Samson family gets their revenge by going back to their savage ways, getting their hands dirty, and having clown for dinner. But of course, with the Joker just sitting in the cage getting ready to get cooked, you know he gotta have some fun with the chef. And it's all fun and games at first until the chef throws hot coals on the Joker, to where then the Joker kind of calms down like, okay, maybe I'm pushing it a little bit too much. But really the Joker was just trying to tell the chef that he's a better cook than him. Remember that. But at a moment's notice, it's here where they then hear a big boom outside. And it's here where we find that vengeance has arrived. And she looks pissed because she's been on her way here since like 3 issues ago. To where on top of that, she's traveled by some unconventional and uncomfortable means. But seriously, with her coming here, she's repurposed her mission to where now her motivation is to kill the Joker for Jim Gordon. And at this point in time, Vengeance still believes that Jim's dead. So when she arrives here, man, she turns it up. And with doing so, she makes her entrance by setting their oil wells on fire. But right off the bat, with the Sawyer family, they're rich, so you know they got security. And when the security sees Vengeance, of course they go after her, thinking that she's just some lunatic dressed like a Mexican wrestler, until she punches a Jeep that was probably going like 40 miles an hour. And after that, she just tears right through these guys. But also with Vengeance making this entrance that was anything but subtle. One of the security guys goes in and he tells Sawyer what's going on, and it's here where Sawyer tells his family and the guest that they're having dinner and a show, so they should grab something sharp and head outside to meet their unannounced guest. But really, this is one of those things where it's really like, what are they gonna do? Like, did anybody tell them what happened to the Jeep? Cause had they seen her punch that Jeep, they'd know she had hands. And someone who can do that, you're not finna stop them with a butter knife. But then it's here where Sawyer tells Buddy to handle this. So Buddy runs up on Vengeance and she punches his head clean off of his shoulders. One shot, flawless brutality. Yo, like she popped Buddy's top and it was a wrap. And that right there is the end of Buddy. He's done. And when Sawyer sees this, the look on his face is priceless, bro. But from here, Vengeance, she goes through these guys. Even with the number of them stabbing her, she still tears through them quite easily. But also some of these guys, like this lady right here, you can just tell by the look in her eyes. Like the look of the lack of confidence. She knew at this point that this was a bad idea. And whether she knows this because Buddy's head still ain't hit the ground yet, I don't know. But either way, you can tell the peer pressure got to her and she's just out here doing what she saw everybody else doing. But just after this, while all the other guests are getting maimed, we find Vicky holding Buddy's head while grieving the way that he went out so viciously. But Sawyer lets her know that they can't stay here, they gotta get moving. And he don't care if she brings the head with her, but they've got to move from here and make their way to the panic room so he can reach out to the network and get them to sort this out. And when this happens, Vengeance, she sees Sawyer and Vicky go back inside. She also notices the cage next to the grill that's open, and she puts it together really quick that this is likely where the Joker was. But I also want to point out here with Vengeance being a clone of Bane, I definitely wouldn't say that she's a 1-to-1 because strength wise, regardless of what we've just seen, Bane is a lot stronger. Make no mistake. And as far as tactical planning, she's not even close. But even still, that doesn't mean that she can't assess a situation. And really, what we're being shown here throughout this Joker series as far as what Vengeance can do, really is just a stripped down version or a portion of who Bane is. And I really think that most people just kinda only know Bane as this really strong dude who broke Batman's back. But Bane is so much more than that. Because over the years he's shown to be a strategist that'll get you with the long game. But at his core, and I would say more than anything else, Bane is a fighter and a survivor, because that's all he's known from when he was a child. And with Vengeance, the fighting part of Bane, as well as the Venom, those are really the only things that make up who she is, as well as the years of experience that she lacks that Bane had actually went through. Throughout Nightfall or Bane of the Demon, Endgame, City of Bane, or even more notably Vengeance of Bane, which was a look at his earlier years growing up in prison, to where for Bane we saw like with him being born as an inmate, as a young child he had to deal with a lot early, with older inmates trying to use him to steal stuff because he was so little, to where also you had moments of him overcoming his fear of bats. But ultimately these experiences made Bane. They crafted his identity. And for him, even from the time that he was a young boy, these things set Bane on the path of realizing who he would become. A physical and mental paragon, the living embodiment of human superiority. And I just wanted to mention this as a reminder because for Vengeance, who may share the DNA of Bane, but aside from that, she lacks the understanding of who she actually is and where that's gonna take her. So it's like she shares a portion of his power, and at times she might even move like him, but there's still quite a distance between Vengeance and Bane. And as we move forward, we're being shown how she's only that one part of him with one objective on her mind, which is something that's going to play an important role later on. But with Vengeance choosing at this point to continue to pursue Joker, one dude tries to hit her with a sneak attack, so she disarms him pretty quickly. But as she pursues the Joker, we then find that the Joker is taking the chef, and he's made good on his word to show that chef that the Joker is a better cook. And I mean, for me, it's things like that. Like, you can't tell me that's not funny. Like, the way that the Joker commits to following a joke through sometimes. Like, sometimes it's only messed up, but sometimes it's messed up and it's funny. Like, actually funny. But at this point, with Vengeance catching up with the Joker, he tries to pull a Dave Chappelle, you know, knock something over and just take off, but it doesn't work. But then it's here where Vengeance takes a moment to tell the Joker why she needs to kill him, or at the least she tries to. And the Joker tells her, like, why should he even listen? Because as far as he's concerned, it's not that deep. Because like, okay, they made you in a vat, they turned you into a weapon, but even still, they live in a world where there's flying aliens and robots from the future. So the Joker tells Vengeance, in comparison to that, you're nothing special. And in addition to that, she's a knockoff, because she's more or less a we got Bane at home made flesh. And he tells her when it comes down to it, when she kills him, all people are gonna say is that some random chick punched the Joker to death in Texas. But with the Joker saying this, like, we know that Vengeance, she doesn't care about the recognition. But with the Joker saying these things, for one, he's not wrong. And at the same time for Vengeance, it strikes a nerve because she lacks identity. But the Joker continues, even though she's punching the teeth out of his mouth in between like every sentence. But he tells Vengeance that she needs meaning. There's no meaning here. And if she kills the Joker, regardless of how she justifies it, she's still doing what she was programmed to do. But then on top of this is where the Joker goes too far. Because he goes on to tell her she's a nobody, she's a non-person, and she was made in a tube about a year ago, so that technically makes her a baby. So then the Joker's like, wait, no, I hope that's how people remember it. That the Joker was killed by a giant baby. And with hearing this, Vengeance is like, that's it. And in this moment where she goes to give Joker's head the buddy treatment, someone grabs her arm from behind, saying no. And it's here where we find that Bane, as well as Jim Gordon, have made their way to Texas, as Bane tells Vengeance, "Hello daughter, it's time that we spoke," because Vengeance has a lot to learn and Daddy's here to teach it. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below to where you can go to patreon.com/Dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.